Hello. I know there have been a lot of videos circulating the internet right now because it's the only really way we can communicate with people because we can't touch people right now. And after hearing about that schools were closing indefinitely for the next few weeks, months, um, I felt compelled to at least say something as somebody who has worked in classrooms and then been helping parents and kids outside of the classroom in homes for the last 8 years. So, and I was ironically actually working on a book about this and about my experience tutoring. And I wanted to just let parents maybe know some things that I've learned in the last few years that might be helpful for the next few months as you are working with kids online or helping them with school. The number one thing I want you to remember as parents is that they're going to fight you. Um, Kids are contextual, so you are their parents. And they are used to you playing a very specific role in their lives. They're used to you getting them food and telling you to make their bed. Like they have rule in their head. This is what the job is as a parent is to do these things. The job of the parent is not to do school. And so it's going to be a struggle at first because you're going to ask them questions or you're going to try to do things and it's going to be problematic. There's going to be tears. It's going to happen. It's inevitable. If you don't have that, let me know what you did because that's pretty cool. So this tension is super normal. You're not a bad parent um, at all. It's literally the reason people hire me is because of that. Is because the dynamic between parent and child does not lend itself necessarily to academic outcomes. Parents need to be supportive in academics, but kids look to teachers, not parents. So if you have the ability to find someone to come in and have the means to come in a couple times a week or just to get you started, just figure that out. See if you can find someone to help with that because at least it changes their perception of that there is somebody else to help them with that thing. That's number one. Number two, try to find a space for learning. Um, they will fight you on this because they're going to want to do it on the couch and they're going to want to do it, in their bed, which I mean, honestly, I work better in my bed sometimes too. I'm not. But in my experience, if there is a specific space that has everything they need, pencils, protractor, paper, graph paper is great. Make sure you see if you can get some graph paper because it helps with math, with doing math. And have all of the supplies because what they're going to do is they're going to try to get out of doing stuff because they don't have what they need. So the more you can provide a space where, and it's not forever. This is just for a few months where you can just say, this is where we learn. And you can, take turns doing certain things. There's this thing called during certain subjects, there's this thing called a Pomodoro time, something like that. I don't remember. It's like 25-minute increments. There's a great app on your phone called Forest where you plant a tree and it times you for 25 minutes. Working in chunks longer than that sometimes doesn't work. And so thinking that your kid's going to sit and work for an hour on something is not necessarily, I mean, that we don't make adults do that. Why would we make kids do that? So make sure that you're planning breaks out and that setting a timer for something really, really helps. It gives them a sense of structure, gives them a sense of control. If you're like, okay, we're just 20 minutes, I'm going to set the timer. And then every time they stop, you have to stop the timer. It's just good to kind of, so that they don't feel overwhelmed. Because the thing is that what makes all of this hard is it seems like a lot to do all at once, especially if you're at home. So creating a space for just that to happen would probably be really, really, really helpful. If you have the means, find someone to come help you just for a little bit, even if it's like a different family member, somebody that's just not you, they will respond to oftentimes better. And I feel like that there was one other thing I wanted to make sure. Um, it's all going to be okay. And I don't know if this was helpful for some people. Oh, that's what it was. Don't judge me. There is something called Mathway. It is 80, 60, 70, $80 a year, and it shows you step by step how to do math problems. I'm not encouraging cheating, but if you do not know how to do the math problem, you can get on and it gives you step by step instructions on how to do it. That's called Mathway. There's something else called Lit Charts. Lit Charts gives you information about different books. It is better than SparkNotes. It is very, very detailed. And that would be, and again, I am not encouraging cheating. I'm encouraging resources. Those are two things that I use a lot. And then If your kid has Google Docs, you can help them write papers by getting on theirs, and like you can share it and use that. So those are resources that I've used a lot for my students. Um, and then if anybody has any questions on how to do this, I'm happy to help. I don't know what my schedule is going to be like the next few weeks. KU is going to online, so that's going to be new for me. Um, but I'm a resource. I've been doing this for a while. I'm really good at planning curriculums and planning structures, and I'm good at that, despite that my life is often chaos and I have no structure. I'm really good at helping other people. But I think the number one thing I want to just reiterate here, as somebody again who's been in homes, other people's homes for the last 8 years, this is hard for parents to do. There's a reason we have schools. There's a reason tutors work. There's a reason your kid has a different coach than you. There's a reason, and it's because that dynamic is hard. So if you need anything, let me know. And I'm going to post this on all kinds of places. So if you need it, if you need me, um, reach out and ask, and I'm happy to give some responses, or just I'm here to help. So those are the main things. Um, know that it's going to be hard at first, and know that that tension exists because it's just the way it is. Find a really good, create a space for that to happen. This is our learning space. They like, despite the fact that they fight you, they like that structure, and it's almost like putting on a different hat. Like it's about boundaries, and so when they walk into school, they know that they're there to do a thing. But if they're home, having to, it's like code switching, to switch from being at home and being comfortable to being at home and learning. And as a tutor, they know that when I walk in the door, that changes. And that's why it works, because my presence just showing up shifts it for them, that, oh, we're doing school now. That's what they need. They need shifts. They need transitions. So hopefully that's helpful, and good luck to everyone. And I'm here to help you if needs be.